47.3. So this monk also wants to go off. So he asked the Buddha for some brief instructions. And the Buddha said, "It is in just such a way that some foolish persons here make requests of me. But when the Dhamma has been spoken to them, they think only of following me around." I'll stop here for a moment. So you see this remark of the Buddha. He says, a lot of foolish people, they want to learn the Dhamma from the Buddha. After learning the Dhamma from the Buddha, they want to stick close to the Buddha. A lot of disciples are like that. They like to stick close to the teacher. But good teachers like the Buddha, they want to be alone. They don't want to have a big crowd around them. They don't want to be a superstar. Nowadays we have a lot of superstar monks. So the Buddha doesn't want to be a superstar. He says, "These fellows only think of following me around." Then the monk said, "Let the Blessed One teach me the Dhamma in brief. Let the Fortunate One teach me the Dhamma in brief. Perhaps I may understand the meaning of the Blessed One's statement. Perhaps I may become an heir to the Blessed One's statement." And the Buddha said, "Well then, monk, purify the very starting point of wholesome states." And what is the starting point of wholesome states? Virtue that is well purified and view that is straight. Then, monk, when your virtue is well purified and your view straight, based upon virtue, established upon virtue, you should develop the 4 satipatthanas in a 3-fold way. I'll stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha is saying that actually later he will explain how to practice the 4 satipatthanas in a 3-fold way. But the Buddha is telling this monk, basically before you practice satipatthana, you have 2 foundations you have to establish. One is Sila, Aryan Sila. Aryan Sila actually is not so difficult. A lot of people think Aryan Sila, when the Buddha says an Arya has got perfect Sila, people think, wow, perfect Sila is very hard to keep. The monk already got 227 precepts. Maybe that is perfect Sila. But it is not. In the Buddha's Noble Eightfold Path, 3 factors constitute Sila: right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Right speech consists of 4 precepts. Right action consists of 3 precepts. Right livelihood means not harming others, and that is covered by right speech and right action already. So actually this Sila component in the Noble Eightfold Path consisting of these 3 things is actually 7 precepts. Only 7 precepts. If you can uphold 7 precepts, you have the qualification to become an Arya. So it's not so difficult. A lot of people think it's so difficult. So that this is the Sila, the virtue that the Buddha is talking about. Aryan Sila. First you must have Aryan Sila. And then you must have right view. View that is straight is right view. Right view means basically understanding the 4 noble truths. So what the Buddha is saying is that first you have to keep your Sila, moral conduct, and then you learn the Dhamma until you understand the basic 4 noble truths. And then only you practice satipatthana. And then the Buddha says, what for? What for satipatthana? Here, monk, dwell contemplating the body in the body, internally, ardent, clearly comprehending, recollected, having removed covetousness and grief in regard to the world. Dwell contemplating the body in the body, externally, ardent, clearly comprehending or mindful, recollected, having removed covetousness and grief in regard to the world. Dwell contemplating the body in the body, internally and externally, ardent, clearly comprehending, recollected, having removed covetousness and grief in regard to the world. So here the Buddha is saying that contemplation of body can be done in 3 ways. One is contemplating the body internally, that means your own body. And then the second one is contemplating the body externally, external bodies, maybe your children's body, your wife or husband or anybody. And then you are contemplating both internally and externally the nature of the body. So that is body. And then in a similar way, dwell contemplating feelings, mind and Dhamma, internally and externally, and both. When monk, based upon virtue, established upon virtue, you develop these 4 intense states of recollection, thus in a threefold way. Then whether night or day comes, you may expect only growth in wholesome states, not decline. Then that monk, having delighted and rejoiced in the Blessed One's statement, rose from his seat, and after paying homage to the Blessed One, he departed, keeping him on his right. Then dwelling alone, withdrawn, diligent, ardent and resolute, that monk, by realizing it for himself with direct knowledge, in this very life, entered and dwelt in that unsurpassed goal of the holy life, for the sake of which clansmen rightly go forth from the household life into homelessness. He directly knew, destroyed his birth, the holy life has been lived, what had to be done has been done. There is no more for this state of being. And that monk became one of the Arahants. So here, the important teaching in this sutta is that before you practice meditation, you must have good moral conduct, and you must also possess right view. That means you must listen to the Dhamma and get right view first before anything else. That is why in the Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 117, it is mentioned that when you practice the Noble Eightfold Path, you must always start with right view. After you get right view, that will lead you to right thoughts, and right thoughts will lead you to right speech, etc. So a lot of people, they come into Buddhism and they start practicing meditation without a good knowledge of the Buddha's teachings. Sometimes they are practicing wrong methods, they don't know, and they waste many years.